Good evening. Welcome to Frank Council public hearing, regular meeting, executive session, February 20th, 2020. Roll call.
Roll call is present.
Holloway present.
Bennett present. Bennett present. Grossman present.
Burge present.
Let it be known we've established a quorum. Can I get everybody to stand for a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item 3, public hearing. 3A is a conditional use permit application for 333 Madison Avenue, and 3B is a conditional use permit application for 636 Carousel Place. Do you have anybody to speak to?
Nobody has signed up for comments for the public hearing.
Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right. Recognition of visitors and presentations. Community rating system presentation. Zane Hedzik. Hedzik?
Yes.
I'm saying that, am I saying that right?
You got it.
All right.
First try. Well, thank you for having me. I have a short script I'd like to read here about the community rating system. But before I do that, I'm sorry for having my back to you. And I'd like to say that this is one of my favorite parts of the job, and it's something to be very proud of. I love showing up to communities to recognize the great work that they've done, and joining the CRS and moving up in a class like this is an amazing one. So with that, I'll read my script. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, I would like to formally recognize and congratulate Cape Charles for its significant accomplishments as a participant in the National Flood Insurance Program's community rating system. Throughout the United States, there are over 22,000 communities voluntarily participating in the NFIP, with 290 located here in Virginia. To join and remain in the NFIP, each community must meet and maintain a certain minimum criteria. A very small number of participating communities, approximately 5% of the national total and approximately 9% in the Commonwealth of Virginia, choose to go above and beyond these minimum requirements by joining the CRS program. This additional effort produces activities that result in a safer community that are more prepared for future flooding events, including but not limited to community outreach and education, higher regulatory standards such as free board and open space. Cape Charles is one of an elite group of 26 Virginia localities that have made a commitment to reducing flood risk and increasing resiliency. The CRS program includes 10 different class rating levels based on the number and types of activities voluntarily initiated by the participating community. Each level corresponds to a percentage discount on NFIP policy premiums within the locality. Today we are here to acknowledge Cape Charles' CRS class rating classification of a Class 8. This rating is something to be very proud of. We are very excited about Cape Charles' increased resiliency to flooding, and although the reduced risk is very important, the flood insurance premium discount awarded to a Class 8 CRS community is also important for the citizens. Each policy written in the special flood hazard area, or the flood zone, in Cape Charles receives a 10% premium discount and qualifies each eligible NFIP policyholder for an average savings of $37 annually on their premium. The 10% discount would apply to 19 policies. In addition, policies written outside of the special flood hazard area also qualify for a discount, a 5% annual discount. Overall, a Class 8 rating results in a total savings of $850 annually for citizens here, contributing to more than $7 million of CRS savings statewide. Cape Charles' leadership, hard work, and accomplishments in floodplain management are to be celebrated and commended. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Virginia, FEMA, and the National Flood Insurance Program, we thank Cape Charles and its hard-working staff and citizens. And I brought your CRS plaque, and if it would be okay if you could grab a picture. Can Jeff come up? Awesome. I don't know who ones to be in the middle.
Put the mayor in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
He's the most important.
Smile.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. There we go, yeah.
Okay, public comments, 3 minutes per speaker. Everybody signed up there?
Natalie Smith.
The woman that sets her own timer.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate your time.
Yep.
I'm here to address something that has occurred in my family, unfortunately, since 2013. We first bought property in Cape Charles and Bay Creek in 2011. We were first notified of a septic problem in our condo in 2013 via our rentals. We were notified that our tenants had to be moved out because there was septic overflow in our bathroom. So it's a problem that nobody wants to live with. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a lost revenue there. Figured it was kind of a one-time thing, and things have been cleaned up to a sum of it's about $400 or so. Next year, I kind of walked into the condo, smelled something, sent an email to Dave Barber, letting him know that I smelled septic, we had problems the year before, and that I'd like it looked into. Said it would be looked into. A couple days later, didn't smell anything, figured everything was fine. Then comes August of 2018, we were notified again that the sewer line was backing up into the unit and that 75 feet of line had to be cleared, some $248. Again, in December of 2018, we were notified and responded to a call that the main line was clogged again and that they had to call plumbers and for some $260 to get that filled. So at this point, we're thinking, oh my goodness, we really have a serious problem here. It's not only a health concern, but it's frustrating to lose renters, it's frustrating to lose income, and we really need to kind of get to the bottom of why this was occurring. In October of 2019, I was notified again that that septic had backed up into the condo, and this time it was a little bit more damage, requiring removal of renters again. After hour services, cleanup, blah, blah, blah. And that one was a little more costly. That was looking at $1,038. Okay, so again, we think, okay, let's contact the town, figure out if we can figure out where this problem is coming from. I was told at the time that the pods that were installed in line weren't big enough. We're going with that. Clean everything up. New molding, new paint, blah, blah, blah. Then was told again, just this past January, that we had a major problem, that the septic backed up not only into the master bathroom, but the closet, had to go through the walls, everything else. It was a real mess and very upsetting at this point. So notified the town of the problem reoccurring, found out that the septic pods are located on the public side, and that they were going to look into it and look and remove those 2 pieces of large concrete out of the underground. So at this point, it looks like that was possibly the problem. I'm asking the town to make sure that there were flappers installed, because I was told that they were going to be installed, that they were supposed to help kind of alleviate this problem that we're having. Wanted to find out too if Billy Paul is going to be their point of contact if we have this issue again. And then I also want to discuss a plan for options to address in the future. God forbid that we ever have to deal with this again. Hoping that after these 2 pieces of septic or cement have been removed, that was the problem. But there are no guarantees at this point. Years of experience will tell me that this probably isn't the last that we're going to hear about this. I'd also like a schedule to make sure that these units, the pod units, are not only clean but maintained, and some kind of system can be in place that we can be alerted if there's a problem, because we're not there all the time. We'd love to be there all the time, but we're not in stages like that we can be. So I'm kind of looking for a solution in the future. I'd like to find out what the schedule's going to be and who's going to help with responsibility on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Van Krupp.
me and my family have been coming down here for about 20 years now. And I've got 2 young kids, and we were having a lot of problems kind of finding things to do with the kids while we were down here. So I started a Facebook page last year for Cape Charles parents. And I just wanted to share that with you guys and bring it to your attention. And perhaps if you could look for us online or find ways to kind of suggest to your friends. We have managed to snag the mayor, but I think that's about it of everyone who's sitting up here. And I just wanted to stop in tonight and share that information with you guys.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
What's the Facebook page name?
Cape Charles parents.
Cape Charles Parents?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
That's it.
That it?
Nobody else is signed up.
Next consent agenda, included in that is the approval of the agenda format, approval of the minutes, approval of the December 31st, 2019 financial report, and approval of the department reports. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Mayor,
Any discussion?
well, I may ask one question on one of the monthly reports. Do we need to pull it out of the consent agenda to do that?
No.
I'm seeing yes and no. Yes.
Yes, we should.
So the item is is Jen Lewis's report with regard to the farmer's market being moved to Strawberry Plaza. Can you kind of maybe expand on what's going on with that, and is that decision final, and what is the town's involvement with that?
So, I can answer that. Do we need to pull this out to discuss this, or can we discuss it during the discussion?
Well, the whole idea of the consent agenda is to make one motion to approve those items there. If something needs to be discussed, it should be pulled out and discussed separately.
All right,
So
so
we
let
can go.
me make an amendment to my motion here to approve the consent agenda with the removal of the Strawberry Plaza Farmers Market item.
Recreation report.
Yeah, we work with you.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. 7F, recreation report, E.
So I asked the question.
Okay, so the farmer's market. So the one that was at the, at the museum. Jen come to me, she heard it was not at the museum, talked to me about it, I thought it was good for the citizens, so we started racking our brain before we could actually have the farmer's market. On town property, and that was pretty much our involvement, it's just let them use the land everybody usually uses the facility. I wanted it at the harbor because I think in the harbor conceptual plan, it actually shows a market over there. And then we had a meeting with all the vendors. The vendors really wanted it on Strawberry Street because most of the activities on Mason Avenue, and they didn't feel like people was going to find it over there. I didn't think Strawberry Street was big enough. I kind of kicked against it. One of the vendors went down there and measured it, sent out an email, put it on a map, and the place will actually hold like 25 spots if you squeeze them in there, but more than enough places for a tent. Spoke with John at Shanny. Parking logistics is going to be difficult at the harbor because we want to do it between the bathhouse and Shanny, where the plan showed for. And John was like, Shanny's packed at lunchtime. It's going to be hard to get cones in there to block it off from 5 to 8, and especially it's it's dinner hour for him as well. So a whole bunch of email trails went back and forth with all the groups here. Got all the email addresses, and we did have an offer from Mr. Campanair about using it at ferry docks. We sent it out. We got one reply. On the pad down there, we got one reply. That was it. Nobody else said anything else that they wanted to do it. The one person said, yeah, it would be nice. But their concern was that there were a bill there and it was going to go away. I told them that I said it wasn't going to happen. So yesterday morning, Monday morning, we had heard anything else about anything else. So I told Jim, I said, let's do it in the plaza. Everybody wants to have it in the plaza. We got parking behind the plaza, and that's how it got to the plaza.
And what's the town's responsibility in?
So the time,
This is a lot of
so what
work.
we're doing, we are just like they use the park or the beach or anywhere else. Each vendor will have, use the facility forms, they'll have to fill out, they'll have to have insurance, and everything goes. We're gonna go down and we're gonna designate their spaces, it'll be full-time. So once it's full, that's it, nobody else, and we're not gonna do any swap outs, so nobody's gonna be really managing it. Everybody's gonna have their space every time.
And they set it up, take it down
Never set it up, take it down.
every week.
Yep.
I think it's going to be interesting for it to run without a person. We might want to encourage them.
Well,
to
let me rephrase it. So Jana, one of the vendors has actually
Okay,
volunteered to step up and to make
Okay.
sure everything goes smooth. That's one of the vendors that's going to be.
okay, that's where I'm going, because I've seen a lot of them.
I've never been involved in that.
I wish I had, but I can tell you that's not necessarily the most favorable. It's a great thing, but it's a lot more complex than people
Yeah.
actually think that it is.
I can tell you, I learned a lot from our meeting.
Yes.
It was a very good meeting. And you know, flower vendors have different needs from food vendors and
Yes.
stuff. It was a very.
And so the insurance pieces, you know, because it is on town land, you know, I'm sure even though they have proof of insurance, we then take on a certain level of liability.
So some do, some don't have insurance. And so it's kind of a catch-22. So we're working with that group right now to see if there's a blanket coverage for them all, and see how we can work through that. So it's, because some of them, the quotes that we get for the insurance has been a little bit too expensive, but it's going to be a working process. Just figure it out for this year and see how it works and make some adjustments or relocate it next year or something. I just didn't feel like it should go away. I thought it was a good thing for the town. And,
Might I suggest that among our staff, someone, or our new town manager when he gets here, is contact DMO Insurance so they know we have an ongoing activity on property?
they already have been contacted.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah,
I mean, so-
they're actually helping us.
Oh, perfect.
They're helping us
Obviously,
with
they'll-
trying
If they
to.
know that it's something that we're gonna be doing all the time,
Yeah.
we'll make sure that we're there to be any kind of incident that we're giving them upfront knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay,
Deb's been working with them on it.
Great.
And they've been discussing back and forth, so.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept the recreational director's report.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unfinished business. Virginia Port Authority paid the local port grant opportunity. Right?
Good evening. You all remember that every year the Virginia Port Authority makes available about $1 million for the Aid to Local Ports program. And we've taken advantage of that over several years, contributed to funding the breakwaters and some other projects. The one that's going to start next week, the inshore breakwater in front of the floating docks. We have, you're familiar with the 4-phase, actually 6-phase, inner harbor rehabilitation and improvement plan that the harbor has proposed. We are in the midst of contracting for phases 1 through 3, which will take us around to the east side of the harbor. The main component of that is replacement of the deteriorated wooden boardwalk with a concrete sidewalk. And the last phase would be on the southern side of the inner harbor, next to the Coast Guard property. And that is not funded right now. We would anticipate a budget request next fiscal year for that. So we have an opportunity to apply for Port Authority grant funding toward that project. It's not really a new project. It has been proposed to council before. If successful, fully successful, we get almost $120,000 for the project. I'm sorry, not $120,000, $89,000. It's about a $120,000 project. We did, Charlie and I did go up to the Port Authority and brief them on the project last week. It was well received. It's a real small project given the magnitude of some of the others coming from Portsmouth, et cetera. So I'm pretty confident that we will get some money out of it. Maybe not the entire 89,000, but certainly get it. So we're here to propose that we do an official application for the Port Authority ALP grant, which is due March 1st.
Is there a certain timeline, once it's awarded, that we have to use it with them?
You have to, it's good for 1 year, and then if you have problems executing it, you can request a carryover of the grant following. We've done that in the past for a couple of projects.
I make a motion, we authorize the mayor to request the DPA ALP grant in the amount of $88,800 for phase 4 of the Inner Harbor rehabilitation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Bob.
All right, the next one on your agenda is the contract award for the Harbor parking lot turnaround, which is part of that $250,000 that you approved for the harbor rehabilitation and improvement work. This is not the Inner Harbor. This is around the Waterman's Memorial from the Shannon Restaurant. We did bid the project once. This is the one we got one outrageous bid on. So we rebid the project, opened bids on February 14th. We got good response this time, 6 bids. Unfortunately, the low bid, $25,000, judged non-responsive. It was, unfortunately, the contractor had only a Class C license, which is, he limits contracts to $10,000. So he bid on a 25K project, and in fact, he bid on the Inner Harbor project too, the sidewalk project. I think he bid $90,000 on that. So I did confirm with the company that they only have a Class C license, so we can't award to them. The next low bidder was $30,628, and it's a little bit more than we had anticipated, but it's still a reasonable price for the work, and we think there's enough flexibility in the remaining work that's budgeted in that $250,000 to absorb the difference. We've checked, they are not disbarred or suspended, they have the appropriate licensure. The big risk here is getting the job done before the shanty opens on March 4th. He's willing to take the risk, so the company says that they can get it done next week. So we are recommending an award to Phillips Housing and Development in Portsmouth in that amount, $30,628.
Starting next week, I think we should finish next week.
Well, it'll be about a week job. They can get the job done.
So they take it.
That's what they say, but
Surprise.
always a surprise.
Do you remember the amount of the previous bid when we only got one bid?
$48,000.
46 or 45, wasn't it? It was 45 or 46, wasn't it?
I think it was 48, 47.
So somewhere like that, yeah, that isn't a good deal.
Yeah.
Question. In December, we approved $36,600 for 2 things, lights and our paved turnaround.
Right.
This is only the paved turnaround aspect of that. So when we estimated the 21,000 for the paved turnaround, it really is 30.
Correct.
What do we do then with the boardwalk lights?
We think we have, remember, it's all in one big project, one line item for both this as well as the Inner Harbor work. And we think there's enough flexibility in some of the elements of the Inner Harbor work to absorb this, in particular the electric work. It was estimated for a complete replacement of the electrical system, and Charlie's inspected it, and salvage most of it and rerun the plant. So we think there's enough flexibility in it to handle it. Not within just the parking lot, but the entire plant.
No, it's,
Just to give you an idea of what he's talking about. that they were-
just for my purpose here is it's another 50% estimate bust, okay?
Well, that, what you just said kind of worries me. Charlie inspected it?
Well-
Does he have expertise in that? I mean, we're opening ourselves up to.
It's simply direct vary wire.
Yes. Let me, so, basically these marine pedestals that's around there now, they're fine. It's just by changing a receptacle, cleaning up a bus bar. I've done it all the time. The wiring going underground will have to be relocated to new spots on the poles. Well, that's G cable, and it's coming, and it's pretty good sized cable. I know you know what I'm talking about with G cable. It's that big cable that's going under the top because it's holding 200 amp circuit. That's not got to be relocated now, so it's staying put. That was going to be a big expense. Relocate the wires.
All right. Get a little nervous when I hear
I know.
we're inspecting it and we're not an expertise in that field.
Well, at the very least, if we have to replace a pedestal, the pedestal's like $1,200. It's a lot cheaper than pulling that wire out and rerunning it and everything, so.
Right. And we're really not planning on replacing the pedestals. We're going to go with a simpler design.
Make a motion that we move ahead with contract with Phillips Housing and Development in the amount of $30,628.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, the next one is contract award for the Inner Harbor sidewalks. This low bid is from Ace Construction Company of Portsmouth, Virginia. And the low bid was $75,000 on this particular project. Very wide range of bids on that, $75,000 to over $111,000. And that $75,000 is for both the base bid, which was on the north side of the harbor, as well as the bid alternate, which is on the east side of the harbor. It is more than the estimate again. The estimate was $61,500. The bid is reasonable. The contractor does have the correct licensure, and he has done work for a lot of sidewalk work for the city of Suffolk. We checked with them, and they were happy with the job, on time and on budget. So the option here is to award both at $75,000, or alternatively, you could approve award of the base bid at $51,600.
Make a motion, we authorize the mayor to execute a contract with Ace Construction Company in the amount of $75,000.
Second.
Question, comments, or whatever?
For a second.
And I said it loud this time.
All right, comment?
The question I have, Bob, is how do I equate the scope of this to the phase 1 through 3?
Well, the base bid gets you phase 1 and 2.
Okay.
The alternate is phase 3.
Okay, so this is all phase 1 through 3. Okay, that's all I wanted to know, because, again, when we talked in the past, we had been talking at a lower amount, so 75 looks like it fits in to what we were
Now, it's a
projecting.
little bit higher than that, the estimate for that particular element. The estimate for the concrete work itself was $61,000.
Okay, so I just want to be clear, this is phase 1 through 3
Right.
for this amount. All right, good, I'm all set.
Any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Okay.
On that, you're on track.
Okay, so the last one, I think, tonight, the mayor requested that I draft a request for proposals for harbor management, contract to have harbor management. So we did go through several RFP examples that have been provided by several companies, marine management companies, and what you have attached to your staff report is a draft RFP that we could issue to solicit proposals for management of the Harbor Marina. You know, the type of contract that one would solicit could range from a simple fee structure that we pay you X amount to manage it, to essentially leasing the harbor to somebody for a price. This RFP is structured with the former in mind, but what I have put in there is a proposal to try to tease out some sort of an arrangement where part of the fee would be on an incentive basis based on improvement in harbor financial performance. I have no idea whether anybody would actually propose that and agree to a contract, but I think it's worth trying to get it out of the industry. So that's what you got.
So basically, I'm looking for, I'm looking, go ahead.
That's what it was tonight.
I'll just turn right over.
Thank you very much. We're always over here. I know you got your kids in the corner going, yeah, that's because we're just causing trouble over here. We're in trouble all the time.
Bob, I just wanted to say that I thought this was really well done. It's very comprehensive, and I was looking particularly for any kind of creative approaches that we might, you know, that would give us different options, and I saw that, what you just had mentioned in C2 on those specific approaches. I appreciate you putting that in there. I don't know either, like you, whether anybody will propose something like that, but I do think it gives us some real, some options to look at and consider. So thank you for doing that, and I'm in favor of issuing the RFP.
Two comments that I had. You've got financials here, and it asks for reports, which is fine. And then the operations, it says provide a weekly activity report. What I'd say, activity report to the town manager, which includes as a minimum, and then specify what you want to see from them. Otherwise, you know, yeah, we showed up and that's my report. Right. The other thing on the facilities, maintaining routine inspections, perform maintenance, what have you. Item number 2 talked about providing security monitoring for common areas. I don't know if we have right now security out there.
We have security cameras.
So is it instead of provide security, is it maintain security?
Well, I would, my view would be to keep it as open as possible and let them propose something.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking, is perhaps you don't feel it's sufficient, and maybe they'll come with more. Okay, all right, that's all I have.
So I make a motion that we issue this RFP and see what kind of response we get. I would also ask, typically when we put an RFP out, well, let me just stop the motion and I'll ask a question after I say.
Second.
When we typically put an RFP out, how long do you leave it on the street?
Something like this, 30 days.
Yeah, I would think we would need this out there at least 30 days, and maybe 45. We might want to consider that. But I also thank you for putting this together. I think it's a great job. I think, you know, we may not get any responses, but we may get a wonderful response, which is what I've been hoping for. So thanks for doing this finally, and
Get the ball moving.
yeah.
You know, just so you guys know, I went back and looked at some back records. This month versus this year, I mean, if you look at the treasury report, it's pretty even. I went back to 17, we were at 154,000 right now, opposed to 105, it's 105. So, and that's when you were there. So there's a big difference. That number's filtered off, so we're not really seeing. The whole purpose of that data was so we can actually see it was just only for doctors.
Well, and you're seeing all the other numbers go up in other areas, so it just doesn't equate.
So there might be enough latitude in that.
Bob, do our employees at the harbor, do they are finished? They're on the state, you know,
Depends on the company.
No, they would be, the RFP specifically requests a proposal to transition them to private employees from government.
Yep.
And a transition plan for that.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Bob, I think we're done with you. Thank you very much. Appointment of planning commission representative to the historic district review. That was for me. Well, as we know, Zach's not here anymore, so I guess I'm handling this one. Diane Downco, the planning commission representative on the historic district review board, has resigned as a member of the historic district review board as of October 29, 2019. Historically, the planning commission has nominated a member to be the planning commission representative and act as a liaison between the commission and the board. However, it's not required in Article 8 of the zoning ordinance, as updated August 16, 2018. Staff analysis is, although the current zoning ordinance does not specifically state that a member of the board can be in the planning commission, it does not restrict the planning commissioner member from serving on the historic district review board as long as they are appointed by town council. At the December 3rd planning commission meeting, Councilman Commissioner Straw volunteered was recommended to town council to be the planning commissioner representative on the historic district review board. Staff recommends town council to appoint Commissioner Mike Straw to be the planning commission representative to the historic district review board.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Question,
Yeah.
is Mr. Streeton more than one commissioner at this moment? Is he only on the planning commission?
Correct.
Nothing else?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. All right. Okay. Appointment of interim zoning administrator. Section 2.4.1 of the Cape Charles zoning ordinance states that the town council shall appoint a zoning administrator to serve under the direction of the town manager. Section 2.4.1 of the zoning ordinance outlines the zoning administrator's authority and to enforce the town's ordinance and is attached for reference purposes. Zach Pons resigned effective February 19th, 2020. He is the current zoning administrator. Town council will need to appoint a new one. I recommend that we appoint an interim zoning administrator of Kelly Lewis Parks.
Who is that?
She works for the county.
Just so everybody else.
So Kelly's a planner for the county. She has all the curriculum. She's going to kind of be contracted just to come in on an as-needed basis to review plans and stuff until we get somebody other.
Just as a zoning administrator or as a
She'll be
part-time?
planning, zoning administrator. She can do a grocery settlement, the whole lot.
I didn't know that, I'm sorry.
And is willing to do that?
And she's, yes. Don't want to pay her.
I understand.
But she's also a full-time employee.
She's a full-time employee at the county.
So, can I ask a question, Mayor? So Kelly has credentials in zoning, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you said in erosion sediment control as, what, is she an inspector or plan reviewer, do you know?
She can do both.
I think she's inspected
But Jeb typically inspects.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it's something that would be helpful.
Yeah, Jeb typically, so somebody, they typically review the plans. Jeff would inspect.
She can do that?
So she'll review plans.
too. She did for the county, she inspected mine, so it was being added on.
Okay,
And hopefully, if all goes well, it's only be about a month.
okay.
A month? That's up to me.
He's very optimistic.
Well, so the job, the applications are due about a week before our new town manager starts, and I think our new town manager is going to hit the ground running. I got all the faith in the world.
So she doesn't act as the county's planner, though, is that correct? I don't
I
know.
think
I don't know.
She's a planner, but they have a few.
I think she's the long.
She's the head, apparently, I think she's the head of
She
the
took
plan.
over, I think she's long-term plan, right, Kelly?
She reports on through Susan McGee.
Yeah, I think she took over, long-term plan.
The main purpose
Like
of
the
this is
GIS
so
and all
the
that
plans.
stuff as well. I thought she did GIS work.
Yeah, she took over, what was his name?
She does the GIS, yes.
She
So are we comfortable in this interim then that she would not do the planning function for us, but she'll do like the plan review for ENS, and that she can do the zoning administration? The things
That's what
that
I
come in
was
the door.
asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, yeah.
So I had Zach, and I have a copy of it, I had Zach type up a turnover sheet that of everything that he has going on right now. When it comes to the boards and commission meetings and stuff, our wonderful Constable Grossman's has volunteered himself to step up to the plate. I really appreciate
Okay, so she's not gonna be working on with the planning commission for the comp plan stuff, or
If
any
I-
of that sort of stuff?
Right, if there's stuff that comes up that needs to go to that, she will do a staff report and talk with him
Okay,
anyway.
I would think not. I would prefer that she would just do the things that come in the door that we
That's
have
what-
to be
that's-
responsive to in the interim until
Yeah,
we get.
that's the thing, that's the main, that's the main thing, I just want her to make sure that things, we've got a lot of plans coming in and stuff, and things need to keep rolling, so we just need somebody,
Thank you.
so.
So I don't know where we're at anymore.
Yeah,
We had a discussion, I
we
guess.
had a discussion before we had a motion.
Yeah, okay, we did.
You did.
All right, so I need a motion.
I move that, well, so moved, because I can't remember her name,
Kelly Lewis Parks.
Kelly Lewis Parks be our interim planner.
Second.
So,
No,
Zoning
zoning
administrator, sorry, zoning administrator.
and ENS site plan review.
And ENS site plan review.
River seven.
Second.
any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm the least qualified person to have made that motion, just so we all know.
All right,
Leave me up there
so,
hanging.
some time ago, the Main Street committee had brought, the wayfinding committee had brought us a bunch of signs and stuff, and over time, they've been working on the finalization. Council got to review those signs at a previous work session. And you've all had your packets for a week. Basically, we've got in the packets, there's the design, proposed locations, proposed content, what's on the signs. And at this time, I'm recommending for town council to approve the wayfinding design, proposed locations, and proposed content.
All right, just before we get started in that, I'm gonna recuse myself on that.
No, I didn't know I was supposed to recuse myself.
Yeah, I'm doing it because.
Oh, the sign.
Yeah, the sign part, just
Yeah.
in case I did on it.
Right, gotcha.
On E.
Thank you.
Good. We'll see.
Thank you.
But since it's my business, I'm gonna step back.
Okay, isn't it important as we think about this, what we're, the best program, design, location, of the staff report? Now,
And content.
okay, and having here at the end, like on the last page, that we need to know about VDOT on final locations, so we can say we approve certain locations, but VDOT may or may not do that, because these will be in the right of way, right?
Right, because Zach's been working with the group since the beginning. Zach and Larry actually worked, it was a joint committee with Main Street. And all along, Zach's been advising and talking to VDOT along the way on some of these, and so kind of guiding some of those things. But definitely some of 13, we didn't get answers yet. So of course, that's the one on 642, before 642, if you're headed into town, exactly how far back that needs to go to advise people that something's happening. So we didn't go specific, so we don't know pinpoint mile marker 1.3 or whatever. It's just kind of in the general vicinity, those terms are. signs of what's there, and they're similar size. There are a few new locations, but they're all similar.
But it meets all the sizes and.
Yeah, Zach did
Okay,
all of that,
okay.
as far as, he checked over all that, so I
Yeah,
did not.
that's all, because I didn't see that in here,
Yeah.
the lead-in, that would
Yeah.
met all Article 4 performance.
Yeah. And then there's some, that are in the county's land, kind of, because it's prior to coming in. So that was the big goal, was to kind of, as someone's made the decision to turn off 13, to check out what this place, Cape Charles, is. That first sign is kind of a teaser to what's ahead. There's no direction or anything. It's like, you made a good decision. There's going to be food, there's going to be a harbor, there's going to be whatever going forward.
Can I get a motion before we continue discussion? Second?
Oh, 1 second.
All right. Now we can continue discussion. Anybody got anything else? I do have one
Well,
thing. Okay, go ahead.
So when do we discuss price? Do we have an estimate for?
We already budgeted, Patrick budgeted $68,000 this
Can we
year.
get all these signs for us?
Yeah, Zach had us prioritized as a group. So that first section you see are 25 signs that we considered like A choices, and there was another set that's B and C. I have no idea if we'll get 10 of the A section. So that would be, once the bid would come in, we'd have to prioritize which ones we thought were most important.
Would we at least get the replacement signs?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that would be the most important, right, to do that. And there's some that we really could do without if we had to for B. We just kind of threw it all in just as far as true directional guidance to get what's basic was covered. So I don't predict that 68,000 will buy the 25 that are there. But I don't really think that's not pretty prices. That's just a gut instinct.
But we didn't get an estimate.
Zach said that we couldn't really do, like, that a company wouldn't really do that. That we wouldn't get that, we had to bid it out. We just followed his next.
It's hard to get a company to give you
To
that.
do anything,
Okay.
yeah.
There
It's a
are
lot of work.
estimators around that do that for a living.
Yeah, that's true.
As we've seen in other estimates.
Not an exact science, by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna estimate that those are.
I do have one comment anyway. It mentions in there that you specifically did not want to use any businesses' names. And you kind of used the Oyster Farmers reference, but it's got bakery, golf. I think that should say golf
Golf
courses.
course, yeah, it
I
should.
That's.
I think that was just a we actually discussed that quite a bit. The other thing that we discussed is that there are signs that say Bay Creek and Marina Villages, just as there are historic downtown. So those are our three communities. So we felt it was fair in that way, but this isn't just a miss. It should just be golf course. So thank you, yeah, and it might be that in the actual list as well, but we discussed that quite a bit to try to catch those.
Okay. All in favor?
Right.
Opposed?
Mr. Mayor, if I could, we have LD with us, Leslie Davis, who's a resident, who has served on this committee, along with Molly Pickron and Diana Damaco.
Thank you.
That we, along with Zach and Larry and myself, spent probably 14 months with the drive arounds and the details of this. It seems probably like it's an easy task, far from it. And LD's the person who kept up with this list, kept a very detailed list. So I just want to personally thank you and the rest of the committee for that.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all very much. Okay, Main Street support letter.
You want us to do it now? That's for,
That we recuse ourselves as Main Street president.
and vice president.
Okay. Let it be known for the record that Tammy and Time began researching Virginia Main Street program in 2015. Staff attended a number of workshops, met with staff from the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development over the next couple of years. On July 6, 2017, Cape Charles Town Council appointed a Community Enhancement Program Board, which was charged with organizing and applying to become Virginia Main Street affiliate. The board made great strides during their first year in generating active community support and organizational formation. They incorporated themselves as Cape Charles Main Street Inc., obtained their tax exempt status under Internal Revenue Code 501c3. In April 2018, the Community Enhancement Board was dissolved by the Cape Charles Town Council, and Cape Charles Main Street Inc. became the official nonprofit organization and partner with the town. Since their incorporation, Cape Charles Main Street Inc. has been working toward obtaining their designation as a Main Street community. They were named as the first Virginia downtown community in 2018. There are numerous requirements of obtaining a Virginia Main Street community designation. One of them is ongoing financial support by locality. Cape Charles Main Street Program Director Karen Sminsky requested a letter pledging the town's financial support over the next 5 years. There is no requirement or specific dollar amount in the letter. The actual amount of financial support will be discussed and determined annually during the budget process. The draft letter is attached for council to review. I recommend the council approve for the mayor to sign and provide the letter to Cape Charles Main Street to include the Virginia Main Street Community Designation Application Packet.
I'll make a motion that we approve the mayor to sign the application packet.
Second.
Any discussion?
Tammy knows how I support Main Street. I'm really one of the backbones of the whole organization.
I wanted to recognize you tonight.
Thank you. Okay. I'm for Main Street, but I hope there will be other money available, and I really go for Central Park. They have concerts in the summertime, which brings the community together. People look forward to it. So don't forget, that's all I'll say, just don't forget Central Park.
We will.
Okay.
That's right, center of town.
Okay. My tongue didn't freeze in my mouth.
Apples and tangerines.
Any more comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mr. Mayor, sign that letter.
It did come out with
All right. Okay, Mayor and Council comments, 5 minutes. Councilwoman Burge.
Went that way this time.
I have no comments. I'm glad to see so many people here, though. That was great. And I'll look at the Facebook page. I do have a little council page. I'll try to get that shared if I can figure out how to do that. Thank you so much.
Parking, we have our meeting with the public there on the 29th, February 29th here. What I had put together for the benefit of facilitating discussions there is a slide presentation up front that really explains what the situation is that we're faced with, what we're trying to describe, but then I pulled examples from various towns just for the sake of giving people idea of what others have done. That's all. I'm not proposing anything, but I felt that that was important to at least set the tone that here's why we're here, what the laws have changed, what the options are, and then open it up. And I'm going to offer it to the mayor for his use if he does want to use it. So, just to help facilitate. That's all I have.
Just let the town know that the retreat has been canceled, correct?
Yep.
On the 27th.
So I'd like to thank again Mayor Bob for getting this RFP for harbor management finally together, and I'll be anxious to see it on the street. Would you let me know when it does go out? I'd also like to be sure that you do respond to Mrs. Smith's request.
I already have.
Okay.
I bet that that's an after effect.
Okay, I'd like to
She's
see
already-
that, I'd like to see that response. Be after the request.
Yep.
I have a question. I had several residents ask me about the flush for 3 nights. I'm going to speak as an innkeeper. To have to tell your guests every night that after 10 o'clock they can't use water or flush the toilets when they're paying to stay with you, a significant amount of money is not real, it doesn't go over very well. Is it 3 nights and we're divided into segments and we can know which area? And I don't know how it works, but it's gone from 1 night to 3 nights. If that happens in the summer, you know, I have 8 unhappy people. The hotel has 24, well, probably 48, 50 people. We need to really think that through as far as explaining that a little better. It's pretty confusing as far as, does it really mean 3 nights that you, after 10 you can't do this, and what the risk is? And I had several people email me the question, and I couldn't answer what. I didn't know if it had something to do with our recent problems, or, but I thought I remembered the last couple of months it had been 3.
Yeah, so the flush itself, the flush itself, where a lot of the lines are still on and stuff, and they flush, they just do it, just clear lines.
And it can't be done at midnight.
So, but and that was my question. I'm 1 step ahead of you.
Okay, I've been asking this one for a year, so.
So
First time
basically,
I've publicly asked it.
what they try, by doing it at 10, they drain a ton of water, and they try to get the system, and so they're there until like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And it goes on that long. It's not just something that's 10 until midnight. There's a process. And so they just want to make sure the time's ready for the next day. And they're afraid to do it at midnight or after, that by 8 o'clock or 7, when everybody's taking showers or needs to go to work for the next day, there may be some.
I just think we need to remember that we're a tourism-driven economy. So from April to, September, we have a lot more people here, and a lot more people here who don't necessarily get that flush.
Right. It ain't that you can't flush a toilet. It's just that
You
don't
can't do a
recommend.
you can't do a shower or sink.
You shouldn't drink it or you shouldn't wash clothes. You flush a toilet.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I've never seen
I
it
don't think we
flushed.
flush in the summer much. It
No.
used to be just in areas where there was low occupancy.
But they do.
That's really not so much
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, because I almost got caught in the shower then, so.
Right.
It's 10 o'clock.
Just,
Yeah.
like,
And they do, like, oyster farms went up in this time of year, because it's not a lot going on, and I think down on your end, where it's not a lot going on, I think they actually put a flush system in yours, and yours is flushing correctly.
They do,
Yeah.
they still flush tiles.
I just ask we all think about if we're traveling and we're asked to not use water after 10 o'clock, and we're paying to stay somewhere.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Doesn't go over very well. I have a couple, 2 other things. My yearly request that we do something about signs for golf carts entering the park. This is probably 4 years that I've asked for signs there. And I've asked for a rack card to go to short-term rentals, and for every rental that goes, that explains where they can drive and where they can't. I don't know what else to do. I started it when I wasn't on council, and I've now done it for 2 years being on council, and I realize I have a great view of all the carts driving in the park, so it annoys me more. But to see a little one trying to learn to ride their bike in the park, and a golf cart, an 8-passenger golf cart, I almost blow them over several times, is just, we're just waiting for a terrible accident to happen.
I will make sure it gets on the list, get those posts up to block it all. We also got some yellow barriers, so they won't drop through the grass too, we put
Yeah.
that there, so.
And then the rack cart, I'd really like to see that. I think it's an easy way to teach and prevent. And the last thing I had is I really wanted to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for all you have done in stepping in our we've talked about it as a group individual, we've said it personally to you, but I don't think anybody has any idea how much you've sacrificed over the last 3 months to keep us moving and things be seamless, so thank you. I know I'm not going to ask, so I appreciate it.
sewer problem. If we can keep an eye on that, like regularly, and report back to these people. I know you're on it, but it's just not, to go on that long and actually just get to us is pretty bad. I just want to stay on top of it.
All right, first thing, I'm gonna touch on the sewer issue. I emailed Ms. Smith back. There is a flower valve already there. They found, they busted a chunk of concrete that was like yay big, and another piece come out. I mean, it just, I don't even know how it got in the sewer line. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I believe that's been the whole problem the whole time. I mean, there's no way it couldn't have caused a problem. And it was probably put there during got there during construction, because once the house was built, I mean, it's not somebody going to the bathroom or somewhere and pour some concrete down there, it just ain't gonna happen. Also, I think there's like 27 of those pods around. And one of them's at the Worcester Farm. It handles the event center and the restaurant. There's a lot of sewer going in that pod, and it handles it. It's handled it every year it's been there. In fact, there was one problem.
Same size?
Same size. So, I think the concrete was the issue. For Billy, I talked to Billy. They're setting up on preventative maintenance on every one of their pods. And to make sure that they are checked regularly. They do have a system in the wastewater treatment plant that shows them when one of them's actually doing something that's not. But the problem is if they're not right there, then they don't see it, and they might like be a delay. They let it get a finger on their phone or something.
Is there, just to go about it, has anybody get a door hanger or something saying that they checked them or something, just temporarily for a couple visits, so they know that something's going on there?
Yes.
Just so they know, because they do it so bright. I mean, they do it 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, either people are gone or not awake.
Well, and the thing with her, it probably does just shoot her an email, because when she's not there, yes. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Well, and it sounds like you've addressed the couple of things that she had, which is the maintenance, the flat roof, and her point of contact.
Yeah, and so she's had her full attention the past week and a half, so they're getting straight, so.
And there's the other people that live there too. It's not just her. I mean,
Yeah.
There's another place that got pretty devastated too. So, same amount of time.
Other than that, I want to thank Jeb and staff for doing what they did for us to receive this plaque tonight. It don't sound like much, but I think I remember when it was like a 4 or 5 or something. It was.
No, you can't, a 5. No.
Yeah,
You started at 10 and
Okay,
you worked
yeah.
your way down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I must have something.
there's only a couple 4s in the country.
Yeah.
Come on, chop chop. I want to remind everybody about the Kid Charles Day. I want everybody to come on out, let these fine councilmen and women cook you some cheeseburgers and hot dogs on the grill.
I'm grilling again.
Because it's the warmest spot, all the guys are. Don't let them fool you.
Try to fry this spatula in my hand.
I do want to thank staff. I know I probably went on my 5 minutes, but staff, a lot of staff members has really stepped up and done a great job. And so, I mean, it's obvious that most of the work that's being presented to you guys is coming from them and not me. So that's the way it's supposed to be. So I'm a good finger pointer. That's about it. Thank you all for your patience. And like Councilman Bond said, the town council retreat for Saturday has been canceled. And then because I couldn't keep up, I'll take full blame of it. I just couldn't get it ready in time, so sorry. It'll be rescheduled. I think we rescheduled it for the first Thursday in April.
It's better to the new town manager to participate with
Yep.
us.
And one last thing, speaking of new town managers, Mr. Hosey, you want to stand up? This is our new town manager, John Hosey. We're very, very pleased. Thank you. Announcements. February 29th is a public input workshop for parking. Councilman Gross will mention that. It's more of a town hall. It's gonna be a lot of back and forth. We want people to, we want engagement. We're not, so it's gonna be a difficult situation, something that's gonna be, affect some people more than others, so.
Tell your friends.
The engagement of the citizens, in the community is, very important for this, we feel as mayor and council. March the 5th is the town council special meeting. March the 7th is the second annual Cape Charles Day. We're celebrating Cape Charles' 134th birthday. Mayor don't get to blow those candles, right? March 19th is the town council regular meeting. Can I get a motion to go to recess?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?